Hey everyone, welcome to this week's edition of Fantasy Football is Better Than Real Life's video blog. On this week's edition, I want to talk about Matt Forte's whining about Michael Bush's signing, and also Matt Forte and Michael Bush's fantasy value with Michael Bush's addition to the Bears. Alright, and first off, let's go back to Matt Forte whining about Michael Bush's signing. Matt Forte was so out of line with his complaining over Twitter last week. There's just no excuse for what he did. Like, he should be more than happy. He should be euphoric about the Bears signing Michael Bush and helping the Bears' chances of making it to the Super Bowl. I get that Matt Forte wants more money, but he should be concerned more about the team and less about himself. And if he does have a problem with himself, he should go talk about it to the front office behind closed doors and not go complain about it on Twitter to everybody. He should be saying, I would be much happier with him tweeting out, "Welcome to the Chicago Bears, Michael Bush," and just leaving it at that. There's no need to create this hostility. The radio talk show should have been just great for the next week, but instead they had to talk about Matt Forte's complaining. And that's so not right. And it's hard to feel any sympathy for Matt Forte. We don't know what offers he's been given. There have been reports that he was offered $14 million guaranteed last year from Jerry Angelo, but there have been no reports of what Phil Emery has been offering him this season. So if he's asking for Arian Foster, D'Angelo Williams, that type of money, then he's just ridiculous and he's out of his mind because he's not going to get that kind of money. I understand it's looking at them and thinking about how good he is compared to them. I understand why he wants that money, but the Bears front office, I'd like to think, is not as dumb as those teams and is going to offer a running back whose career is short that type of money. That's just not a smart business move. The Bears are playing smart by giving a franchise tag, and I would be more than happy to see Matt Forte land with a Marshawn Lynch type of deal. Now, you might think after watching Marshawn Lynch and Matt Forte the past couple of years that Matt Forte is a much better running back than Marshawn Lynch. However, looking at their numbers last season, Marshawn Lynch has way more touchdowns and 100-yard games prior to Matt Forte's injury. I think $18 million guaranteed should be plentiful to offer Matt Forte, maybe even in the 16, maybe even 16 at the least. If the Bears are lowballing him still and only offering $14 million, even that, all right, if they're lowballing him and only getting him $12 million, then I can sympathize with him. But if they're offering him Marshawn Lynch or a little bit less than that type of money, he has no reason to complain. Now I want to talk about Matt Forte and Michael Bush's fantasy value thanks to this addition. Matt Forte is still going to put up solid numbers, but he's going to be very undervalued in this year's upcoming fantasy football drafts. Matt Forte last year still had to deal with Marion Barber stealing all of his carries within the red zone. Matt Forte would still get tons and tons of yardage in between the 20-yard lines, and as long as he's going to continue to do that, I would not be worried as a Matt Forte fantasy owner. He should still be going at about the mid-second round. He's right above the Frank Gores, who the 49ers just added Brandon Jacobs today, so you also have to worry about that. But he's right below the Ryan Matthews, who now has the backfield to himself without Michael Tolbert, and Marshawn Lynch, who just got a huge deal, and the Seahawks are going to be relying on him even more. Now, that's not to say that Michael Bush will not get a load of carries from this Bears offense. Michael Bush would not be in Chicago had the Bears front office not convinced him that he would be a huge part of this offense this coming year. Michael Bush is going to take all of the carries that Marion Barber got within the red zone and get even more than that. This Bears offense is going to want to keep Matt Forte fresh. And Matt Forte hasn't played any significant downs since last year. Yes, he did play in the Pro Bowl. However, that was not a real game, and I would not count that. Let's see how Matt Forte does in the opening season. And you don't know if the Bears cannot reach a deal with Matt Forte before training camp, Michael Bush's value will increase even more. So I love Michael Bush as a top 25 running back. I love him more than anybody in the Panthers backfield, and I cannot. If you also have Matt Forte as a fantasy running back, you should try and get Michael Bush in about between the 6th and 8th round. All right, it's that time of the show, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget you can follow me on Twitter at Dave J. Hansen.